We're getting down to the end of the semester here. We have one more week, and make sure you look at the beginning of the printed lesson because it gives you it gives you a heads up on something we'll be doing next week, and it's an interesting approach. So um, read through that and get that lined up for yourself. Okay. Um, okay. Today we want. Before we go on to that, let me tell you again. You folks grabbed onto poetry, did a great job. Understand the difference between lyric and narrative poetry. Again, they're not the only kinds of poetry, um, but those are the ones that I wanted to concentrate on. Okay. This week we're going to talk about drama, and we're going to talk about classic drama. And of course, I put a lot of information in the lesson for you, so I won't repeat all of that here. I just want to get into it a little bit. And we're doing the play Oedipus the King, Oedipus Rex. Rex is the Latin word for king. Okay, now this play was written by Sophocles, and it's set in ancient Greek times. Okay, but it's a great play. I wore this shirt um, because the character on the front, if you can see it, it looks like a guy on the verge of exhaustion on there. And it just reminded me of Oedipus because Oedipus was somebody who, with all he was doing, would just never give up. And this guy looks like, he's ready to collapse, but he's ready to get up and go some more. Okay. And that's kind of Oedipus. Okay. So that's why I have this t shirt on today. Okay. Anyway, okay. So, let me adjust this a little bit so that the light isn't shining on it. Okay, hopefully I'm not too dark in it. Hopefully you can see more than my rather light colored hair. Okay, so classic drama. Now, what's important? I mean, I break down the whole setup of classic drama for you. But the important thing in drama is that you realize that drama is really, in a sense, a recreation of life. Okay? We should be able to some degree, attach ourselves to what goes on in not all drama, but many drama, because it is human beings going through the trials and tribulations of human life. Now, granted, the trials and tribulations that Oedipus goes through are not normal, but what he's doing in here is trying to work his way through some significant problems, trying to take a perspective first from the small things in front of him, and then he is forced to extend them out into bigger things. Okay, uh, and so it's really a study of human nature. Oedipus is trying to do his best, and like this guy in here who wants to do his best. He how can I say this? He doesn't really start to look back at himself for a while here, okay? And I think that's maybe how a lot of us work. We, when we have to solve problems, first we look outside, and then maybe we come back to looking inside. Well, that's what Oedipus is doing, and so in that way, you know, this story is a recreation of human emotion for us. In and I explained this in the lesson, but I want to repeat this for you too. In classic drama, classic tragedy, okay, we have a lofty character. We have a character who is not just Joe Average Guy, but he is somebody special. Special from the point of view that he might be a king, he might be a prince, he might be a queen, a princess, or some a bishop or some high-ranking official of some kind, a mayor of a town or something, and kind of through his own fault, his own human failings, runs into problems. Okay, so that's considered a tragic flaw in classic drama, and it's always a tragic flaw that makes things a tragedy. So just because you know, somebody dies in a classic play doesn't make it a tragedy. What makes it a classic tragedy is for a lofty character to to come to not necessarily die, but really difficult kinds of circumstances, and basically through his own tragic flaw. Okay, and I'll give you a hint. Oedipus's tragic flaw, like so many people's tragic flaw, probably like most leaders' tragic flaw, like probably all of our politicians' tragic flaw, is pride. Okay, and of course, pride is a difficult thing to work against. Oedipus has a problem with pride. Pride. Okay. Now, as you read this, just read it as if it were a novel. Okay. In fact, I suggest that you try to find online a the play. You tap out Oedipus Rex and see if there's some place where, without cost, you can see the play and then read along with it as it goes, because that way it's only going to take you, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. If you try to read it yourself, it'll probably take you more like an hour and a half. Okay. An important thing in the play, and I mentioned this in the lesson, is what's called the chorus. The chorus really serves the same role as a narrator in in a typical short story. Well, the chorus in a classic drama, classic tragedy, and especially in Oedipus the King, the chorus really does tell us what's going on. Okay, so make sure that you pay attention to what the chorus says. Make sure you also read the information on setting. Okay, because they set the scene for you in each play. I'm not going to go through the breakdown of the play because I did that in the printed lesson. Now, I give you options for your writing assignment. I would personally rather see the personal involvement side to it that I offer as an option, rather than just the tragic setup. That's just kind of cut and dried, and you guys haven't done stuff that's cut and dried all semester long, so I don't want to see you do that now. Again, we have one person in the class who obviously has been going to outside sources and putting those outside sources into their play without documenting them, and I don't want documented. I want stuff that's written from here. I want stuff that's written from here. I don't want stuff from sources. So, if that person does it again, I think I'll give them a 0 on their paper, because to me that's offensive. It's just moving so far away from what we've been all about in this course. Okay, so for a question, a video question for you this week. I kind of talked about this near the beginning of this video. What should classic drama do for us? Okay, other than entertain us, what should classic drama do for us? Okay, so again, get yourself lined up for next week too, so that you're set when that happens. When I give you that assignment, and that's a really, really, an incredible assignment. And we're talking about The Dark Knight, and even if you've seen that movie a dozen times before, I'll need you to watch it again, thinking about what we put into next week's lesson. So, work on that. But anyway, email me the answer to your questions and get your essays posted by Wednesday, okay? And have a good week. You guys are terrific. We're getting to the end here, okay? Thanks. Now if I can find the cursor, I can stop this. There we go.